Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Claudia and I'm a PhD student and research assistant at the University of Oviedo. Today I'm gonna present an experience that we have developed for the Science Week that the university organizes each year. The name of the presentation, as you can see, is Introducing Advanced Economic Topics to Primary School Students, the Game of the Goose. So, the content of the presentation will be structured in 4 parts, starting with a brief introduction, then an explanation of the theory and the concept of equality of opportunity, and finally the description of the experience and some conclusions. Well, starting with introduction, open science has emerged as a key policy focus within the European Union, emphasizing the importance of disseminating knowledge in academic endeavors. However, this dissemination often prioritizes sharing outcomes from research projects rather than highlighting predoctoral work. Also, this dissemination often prioritizes sharing outcomes with academia rather than with society, in essence, people outside academia. So, who cares in this case about problems or limitations caused by inequality? Only academia? The answer is no. So, addressing this challenge, this paper presents an initiative aimed at making complex economic concepts more accessible to primary school students. Specifically, it focuses on introducing the concept of inequality of opportunity and its potential socioeconomic implications. Traditionally, this concept is not introduced until advanced university courses, but this experience seeks to bridge that gap and bring it to a younger audience. So, what is inequality of opportunity or the concept of equality of opportunity? Well, the study of inequality is a major topic in economics literature. Numerous scientists and political philosophers have argued that a fair society should provide individuals with freedom to pursue their personal goals without being limited by factors which are beyond the control, such as, for example, parental background characteristics, race, or gender. The literature of equality of opportunity follows this idea of fairness and tries to estimate the part of inequality that is considered unfair, which is called inequality of opportunity. The analysis of inequality of opportunity requires distinguish between circumstances and efforts. On one hand, circumstances are understood as factors over which individuals have no control and therefore cannot be held responsible for. And on the other hand, efforts can be attributed to individuals' performance and commitment. Some authors, as Romer or Suárez, express their concern about how society should compensate individuals for differences in outcome due to factors which are beyond its responsibility. This idea behind the principle of compensation is becoming increasingly important when designing public policies, since according the perspective, public action should not be aimed at reducing inequalities in income, but at compensating the effect of circumstances, in this case in overall inequality. Indeed, experimental evidence confirms that individuals distinguish between inequality due to the level of effort of the individual and inequality due to the level or due to circumstances. In this context, introducing the concept of inequality of opportunity to children in schools is crucial and is crucial for several reasons. First and foremost, children themselves suffer from this type of inequality from the very beginning at school. So learning about it can help them to foster a sense of fairness and empathy. By understanding that not everyone starts from the same circumstances, children can develop a greater appreciation for the challenges and disadvantages faced by others. Also, by teaching about inequality of opportunity, schools can promote a more inclusive and compassionate society. This understanding can help reduce prejudice and discrimination, as it encourages children to view others as individuals with unique circumstances and backgrounds. And finally, also, in introducing the concept of inequality of opportunity empowers children to challenge and question social injustice. Wow. Talking about the description of the experience, described here in this presentation takes place during the Science and Innovation Week that is organized every year around November in Spain since the year 2000. And also it takes place during another initiative, Touring with Science, which is in this case promoted by the University of Oviedo and takes place since March or April till December. So, in our particular case, the goal was to present to primary school students the work carried out on the study and analysis of socioeconomic inequalities. Specifically, the focus was on introducing children aged 6 to 11 years the concept of inequality of opportunity. So, the experience is divided into 3 main parts, starting with a brief talk about the concept of inequality, what inequality is, and specifically what inequality or equality of opportunity is. Then, we spent about 5 or 10 minutes with some questions about what we have presented, and then we go for the main activity, which is the game of the goose of equality of opportunities, or an adaptation of the game of the goose. So, the talk focuses on children's understanding of the evolving economic concept of inequality of opportunity. This is done through examples, trying to simplify at maximum the concept, for example, by using football or football teams as a metaphor. Questions are also incorporated to encourage class participation and to encourage that or the children to express their feelings and thoughts, for example, by comparing two pictures of children, as you can see on the slide, some born or some seem to be born in a developed country, as they might be themselves, and others who are not. Finally, some of the data and results obtained from the research are presented, but in a very simple way and in a summarized way. Then we give way to about 10 minutes of questions where we check to what extent they have understand the presentation, what we have talked about, and we also introduce some data or information that affects them more closely, for example, such as data on inequalities in Asturias, in essence, at a regional or a local level. And well, finally, we turn to the core business, which is the game. It is an adaptation of the popular game of the goose. The aim of this activity is for the children to gain a better understanding of the concept of inequality of opportunity by experiencing it in a way at first hand. Well, the game of the game board is the one you can see on the screen, and before starting the game, the class is divided into groups, and each group will have to take a card out of an envelope, which will indicate in which position they start the game. There are two options, which these cards can be opportunity or disopportunity cards. And for example, an opportunity card would be you were born into a rich family, so you start in square 10, or these opportunity cards will be you were born in rural Africa, so you start in square 1. So from then on, the game will have like the same dynamics as the original Goose game, only with different types of squares. In this case, we have 3 types, that they are the ones that you can see on the slide. The first one would be the dollar symbol or the dollar sign, and that would be economic crisis. So the player who falls in this square returns to the starting square. Then we have other 2 types of squares that would be we have advantages and disadvantages cards. For example, the green ones would be advantages cards, and for example, it would be you get a scholarship to study at one of the best universities in the world, so you advance 5 squares. Or on the other hand, the red ones would be disadvantages cards, and it would be, for example, your father becomes an employee, or he or your mother gets fired, so you go back 2 squares. So once a group reaches the final square, the game is over, and we move on to a final reflection round. In this reflection round, students are asked to answer questions such as, for example, how did you feel when you had a chance in the game? How did you feel when you saw that you did not have the same opportunities or the same chances as your peers, as your classmates? Or do you think this is fair, no? All of this with the aim of reflecting on not only what they have learned with the game, with the talk, with experience, if not what they have feel during the game, what they have experienced, and what are their thoughts about it. So, well, in conclusion, this paper presents an example of how to introduce advanced economic topics to primary school children through an adaptation of the popular game of the goose. We believe that by introducing the concept of inequality of opportunity at an early age, children might become better equipped to become informed and engaged citizens. They might develop a deeper understanding of social issues and might be more likely to take action to address inequality in their communities. Also, educating children about inequality of opportunity might empower them to contribute positively to society, promoting fairness, justice, and empathy. And finally, this is also a way to bring social science and research more closely to people. So thanks a lot for your attention, and any questions or suggestions are very welcome. Thank you.